Deputy Speaker, we are a nation of laws, not a nation of bullies. We believe in a world of law where the strong are just and the weak secure and the peace preserved. We want this to be true, but it is not. On our wharfs, every day, we see how far our nation has departed from its promise and its values to how we have allowed powerful vested interests to prevail over the common good. There is no better example of this than the Maritime Union of Australia. Here the weak are stood over, the might is right, and the peace is rarely preserved. Until recently, the situation was at Port Botany, there were bans on shift extensions, bans on upgrades, bans on overtime. At Brisbane, there were ban on upgrades, ban on shift extensions, ban on overtime, ban on call-ins, ban on working advanced or delayed start times, ban on the operation of RTG beyond the safety minimum operating agreed as determined by the driver, ban on the operation of a key crane beyond the safest minimum operating speed as determined by the driver, ban on operating RTGs for more than two runs in a 3-run shift or 1 run in a 2-run shift, 1 hour stoppage at start of each shift, 3 stoppages per day. Ban on shift extensions, ban on upgrades, ban on overtime. In Fremantle, there were bans on upgrades, ban on shift extensions, ban on overtimes, ban on call-ins, ban on working enhanced or delayed start times, ban on the operation of RTG, ban on the operation of key crane beyond the safety minimum operating speed as determined by the driver, ban on operating RTGs for more than 2 runs in 3. In Melbourne, there was a ban on accepting subcontracted vessels. And this is possible, all of this, and it just goes on, but it is all possible because of the parasitical victories that has enabled this from one to the next, from superannuation schemes that was meant to reduce inequality but has exacerbated it, industrial laws that enable the strong to bully the vulnerable, supported by IR academics and union-aligned litigation lawyers that continue to be virtually unregulated, as we have seen in the Banksia case. The MUA tried to put a vessel ban on the 6 shipping lines that represent more than 80% of our cargo. They've also tried on a 24-hour stop work ban. They've put on 2-hour bans per shift. All the while, empty containers are piling up in Australia, with overseas suppliers now demanding that they need to build new containers at $1,500 US per container. More costs, more reputational damage, and more people out of work. Some may ask, who cares? Who cares? If there are delays, businesses may have to pay up to 50% more for their cargo, but they will eventually get it right. The problem is that while they are waiting for products to sell, their staff still want to get paid, their children still want to be fed, the tax office still needs to be paid, banks kind of like eventually to get their loans repaid, landlords want rent, and council rates. Let us not forget the councils. They pretty much want their rates straight away. The only level of government not to offer anything during this pandemic in terms of relief for Australians. As one small business in I note the former mayor in the chamber disagrees with that. Oh well. As one small business in my community told me, hang on, Member for Eden Monaro, this is a person speaking now. I am not speaking on behalf of big business. I'm just a small, insignificant retailer in the wider economy. I'm speaking on behalf of thousands of small family businesses that are desperately relying on the import process to survive. For us, this strike action does not simply mean foregoing a pay rise next year or the year after. It means losing my income completely. Potential insolvency, bankruptcy, losing my home, my family and my kids. As a female entrepreneur also told me, I don't begrudge unions working for their members to gain fair pay, safe working conditions or to fight against workplace abuse, but this has nothing to do with any of these issues. This is just about getting more money when I
Order.
can't afford